Good morning, this is Jim Webb. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Got a topic this morning in the skill of persuasion. Most people will think about persuasion and manipulation probably in the same vein. I'm talking about an ethical persuasion and what a professional in the field of sales does with a client. I'm also talking about Aristotle's three modes of persuasion. And we'll talk about how those go into this skill. When I'm talking to a client that is in business that sells directly to either the public or business to business, is that one of the most important things that you can do is learn to be excellent at asking questions. Because once we determine what their problem is and then what they need and what their desired outcome is, then we're able to getting involved in presenting a solution. So that's where the questions come into play. But one of the things that you have to know is that a salesperson's role, persuade that customer that what you have to provide will actually get them the outcome that they're looking for. It's a win-win situation. In fact, the skill of persuasion always has the outcome, the goal in mind of a win-win situation. So let's talk about these three modes of persuasion that Aristotle, the great philosopher, brought out to us. The first one is ethos, or credibility, and that's the word that means character and disposition. So as a salesperson, it's talking about your character, the character of your company, the credibility of your company, and that becomes part of the persuasion of being able to solve whatever this need, this problem is that our client has. Because we believe good men more fully and more readily than we do others. That's what Aristotle said. So we believe good men, people with credibility, with ethos, more fully and more readily than others. So that's part of the persuasion. The next part of the persuasion goes into the emotion of the situation, the pathos. And that is, pathos means both suffering and experience. It's the root of the word empathy, putting ourselves in their shoes. So this is when we appeal emotionally to our potential client. And the reason for that is that most problems involve pain, which is an emotion. We have to, within our persuasion, we need to appeal to that emotional part, that what they're feeling, so that we're able to, they feel the pain and they feel the relief from our solution. That's part of the persuasion. Then the last one is the logic, the logos. And very few decisions are made in a sales environment based on logic only. In fact, most clients try to justify an emotional decision with logic. One of the things that I think as salespeople we have to be careful of when we get into persuasion is that we never address logic if we don't have to. That then becomes manipulation. We have to put the logical argument out if it has to do with budget, if it has to do with return on investment. Those are things that have to come into play, and that's part of our role as a professional. And so we balance the emotion and the logic, and most of the time, absolutely, that feeling, that emotion is going to take more of a role on, but we can't ignore the logic as part of that persuasion. And all this revolves into, or evolves with, and then into a decision with that credibility, that ethos of the salesperson and the company and their trustworthiness. And so the skill of persuasion starts with when we've asked questions to determine what that client needs, what they feel their problem is, and what they want, what they desire as the outcome. Then we persuade them with the credibility of ourselves, then the emotion and the logic of decision making. We persuade them that the best solution is ours. That's a skill. There is nothing manipulative about that. And those that are high performers understand that. They're very good at that. And, sometimes persuasions don't make any sense. In other words, if somebody tells you that they have a problem and what their desired outcome is, and you know you can't solve it, but you go ahead and try to persuade them about your solution, sorry, that's lying. That's not persuading. So we're not talking about convincing somebody to do something they don't need or want to do. We're talking about persuading somebody to feel confident in our solution and that they will get their desired outcome. Thanks so much for stopping by. All the best to you today. Expect to win.